his estate was there, and we traveled all around the world and stuff. And I had come back home on a vacation and met Sierra, and things happened, pretty quickly, and decided to leave as a personal chef and move back to Columbus, Ohio, and so I could kind of pursue this little relationship with this woman. And we bought a hot dog cart, and yeah, yeah, dude, we had a freaking hot dog cart, and so we did that for probably about a year, maybe a year and a half, and things weren't working out with that. We sold the hot dog cart, didn't even sell it. Sorry. We traded the hot dog cart for a lawnmower and a weed eater, a Toro weed eater, and a Prolon backpack blower, and decided we was going to mow grass. So it was, we were trying to provide for our family that we were kind of establishing. And she had a son that I've been with since he was 3 years old. So looks at me as dad. And I had an older boy at the time. And so we were just trying to pay the bills, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. So why did I mean you sold the hot dog cart? You weren't making no money on the wieners?
We were making money, man, but it wasn't when we got into it here in Columbus. It was a what you call a red hot market and
Okay.
white hot. I'm sorry, white hot market, and there was no established rules in the city limits. So it was kind of like a wild, wild west, a free for all. You go where you want, set up, and you make money. And our first maybe 6 months, it was like that. And man, the money was good, dude. We'd go up on campus, and we had a little spot on Chitteren, and right across the street from the stadium. And we would set up there on Friday night and Saturday for the game, or Saturday night if the game was away. Dude, we would make like between $2,500 on a weekend. I mean, we was
Wow.
making money. The city, and we weren't the only ones. There was tons of other people, and then the city came out with these rules and limits of where you could park and the hours, operation hours, and you had to have certain permits to be in certain areas, and it just became not lucrative. It didn't make any business sense to stay in business, and it was like, yeah, we're done. We're done, because
Right.
we went from Chitteren to like Nationwide Boulevard, and then over to like uh, Gale Street or Gay Street, and we just watched our money just go away. And then there was a lotto system, and it was stupid, man. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Jeez, that
So
sucks.
then
Yeah.
when we started the lawn mowing, we had a sleuth. I don't know if you know what those are. It's a sleuth walk behind mower. They're junk,
Never heard of
dude.
them.
They're junk. They're junk.
Probably why I've never heard
And
of it.
right, they're junk. So we started off with like 6 properties, and we're looking at each other like, what the hell did we just get into? Because there was no money at all. Like we weren't making any money our first year at all.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. It just I I can just imagine. I've never heard of that mower. I've never heard of pro line mowers either. Like it's just they just seem like they're not that good of thing. How did the Toro work? I mean, I know you use Echo now. How did the Toro work compared to like Echo? Like is it just
Well, actually, I don't use strictly Echo anymore.
okay?
I'm more into the Husqvarna trimmer. The blower, we have 2 steel blowers. I still have my Echo 770 or 700 or something like that. We still have that blower. Still got some trimmers. Um, Toro compared to the Echo trimmer is night and day. The Toro trimmer is specifically residential. It's not a commercial line or anything. Tony, my man. I call him Tony. I know his name's Tino, so don't correct me. That's our thing.
I wasn't going to correct you. I'm just like, I don't know who Tony is, but maybe he's on there somewhere.
But Toro, man, it held up probably for like maybe 3 weeks, but it's not anything like what we're used to. I really like the Echo trimmers. I love them to death. But got a great deal with Husqvarna at the dealership, and the guy shot me a deal, man. I couldn't turn it down, and now I'm really in love with it. The Husqvarna. It's a nice trimmer, man. Really nice trimmer.
That's pretty cool. So now that you've gone through employees and had your ups and downs, been in business a good long time, how would you say, what is the best part about doing this type of job?
There's so many of them, but to sum it up, it's the freedom to kind of pick and choose my jobs. I mean, we're at that point in our business career, so to say, that we can kind of pick and choose on what jobs we want. Not all money is good money, and yeah, I'm already waking up the neighbors, Tony. But I mean, we can pick and choose. If we want to go out, we can go out. If we don't want to go out, we don't go out. Like past maybe 5 years, man, we've just been slammed, dude. McDonald's, now Subway, Taco Bell. This year, because of the twins, we decided to scale back a little bit. Got rid of 3 employees, kept our son, of course, and we just really scaled back, but we've been pushing the landscape more. And honestly, man, the profit margins are great this year because we're not paying out, Joe Schmo to stand around and smoke 50 cigarettes a day and maybe only mow 2 lawns. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And then tell us that he's mowed 15 and everybody's calling like, why haven't you mowed our grass today? Like, whoa. Yeah.
I've had that. I've actually showed up at a job where we did 10 yards in a row in one neighborhood, and I showed up like an hour later from my crew, and here they are just sitting there in the truck for an hour, and I'm like, what's going on? Why aren't we done with these jobs? And we're just depleting life and seeing what how's life go, and I'm like, dude, you can talk about this after work. Like, literally, I'm gonna have to clock you out for that whole hour. Like all of you guys, like you just didn't do nothing for an hour. Like what, like, the quicker we get this done, we go home. Like, you guys always want to go home early. Like, quit screwing around. Like,
they were getting high, man. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? They were smoking that good shit and forgetting what the hell they were doing. And man, we've dealt with that. We've dealt with a lot of that stuff. And I mean, we've dealt with guys like Danny Lanier and just kind of just stand around, make videos all day. We had a guy that he was a TikTok star, and that's what he called himself, the TikTok star. Had to get rid of him. We've had a guy literally stole all of our equipment during the day. He went out for his route, and the next thing you know, nobody's getting cut. And we look at the GPS, and he's supposed to be on the west side of town, and this man's all the way up on the north end of town. Had to call the cops. Cops had to go search for our truck and trailer and mowers. And when they got there, he was unloading our trailer into his garage, and the cops are like, "What the hell is going on?" So
yeah.
I mean, we've dealt with all of it.
It's getting ripped off is one of the, I think, worst and interesting things to actually go through, and getting robbed. And I hate to say it sucks. I know
it does,
especially if you don't got the equipment to repair or replace right away. I mean, I think when I got robbed, my guy stole pretty much 2 mowers, weed whip, blower, a couple other things, and literally it came down to a point where luckily I had extra equipment to actually go back out. But dude, if you ain't got nothing to back up, like that could be bad on you. Now, do you have stuff for backing up on equipment wise if something happened?
Oh yeah, man. I have 6 mowers, 2 stand-ons, and the rest are walk behinds. 36, 252s, 236s, and then we got a 48 and a what is that Skag? I think it's like a 32 or something like that. It's a walk behind Skag. But at one point, man, we had 10 mowers at one point, and
Wow.
probably only used 6 at a time. But we have backup stuff, backup trimmers, backup trimmer for the backup trimmer. Hedge trimmer. We got a steel hedge trimmer. I think it's like an 82 or something. It's one of the big boys. And then a 52, and then we got the Echo trimmer, hedge trimmer that we got from the group, and got a pull saw. I mean, we got so much backup crap. Half of the time I'm looking at it and I'm like, and when's the last time I used that damn thing? So I do set that. I set a day or 2 out every couple months where I take all the backup stuff, and just so I can run it and get the juices going in it and make sure everything's all right. And those are typically the rough days, man, because something breaks down and you're like, fuck. Like, oh, that's why that's the backup. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
right.
you got to have backup. If you don't have backup, you're dead in the water, man. You're dead in the water.
There's a lot of guys that I notice nowadays that don't have backup, and we at one point had a shitload of mowers, and we went through them and kind of just eliminated what we had because we downsized, and so we're slowly rebuilding. But now it's like I always trying to get a backup for mower wise. I've always had tons of backup of weed whips. I run Echo nonstop, so it's like I have a pretty much an enclosed trailer full of extra blowers, weed whips, edgers,
Right.
all that stuff to where I can pull parts off, or I can, get it up and running and use it. So that's always a good thing. But we have a place out here that literally rents the zero turn. So it's like if something comes down, we can rent a zero turn, or I can
Right.
call one of the manufacturers and get like a demo for a day or so. So that kind of helps out. But dude, to not have a backup sometimes, like that can really screw you in the long run. And I'm seeing it with a lot of newer people that are like, oh yeah, I got 3 mowers. Well, they're all broke down today. So what do I do? And it's like, you better call around and find something, dude, or find somebody that can help you. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, we've had mowers go down. I had the Skag and the Bradley go down one time, and it was just like, what the fuck am I going to do? So here I am with a 36 walk behind. I'm mowing big ass properties, and customers walking out like, what the hell's going on? Like, you've been here almost an hour. Like, dude, don't ask. Like,
right.
had a mower catch on fire year before last in the backyard of a client's house, and thank God, man, we've had him since we started. He was out there laughing, got fire extinguisher. He's laughing at me like, you would bring this mower today, wouldn't you? I'm like, yeah, it happens, man. I mean, it happens.
So
dude.
What happened with that mower? What was it, like gas leaking out, or?
Yeah, the carb gas was coming out, and the way the Skags are built, it's got the full muffler on it, so it goes from one of the heads all the way over, across, and right underneath the carb, and it was leaking, and there was some grass there. It was a hot day, and I think all the things were correct on that day, and it just went, and I saw a little fire, and I'm like, oh shit, trying to put it out, and as I go like this, it just kind of went, and next thing you know, I'm like, oh my god. Like, yeah, it was bad, dude. It was bad. I still got that mower.
Do you still got it? So do you replace everything on it?
Yeah, and it works like a dream, man. It works like nothing's ever happened, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I kept the shield on there. The shield still got the burn mark on it and everything. I'm like, all right, man. Like, can't beat that, dude. I mean,
No, heck no. So you're down to just you this year and Sierra and your son, right?
Just me and my son.
Okay.
Sierra is not working at all. She works from home. She's got a little job with a credit company, so she's been doing online stuff, online work from home. But that's only a couple hours a week. The rest of the time, it's with the twins and still doing our office stuff. But I mean, I'm enjoying this year, to be very honest with you. It's a different change of pace, and not so hectic. You know what I mean? I'm not on a job worried about another job that's going on, or I'm not putting out $8,200 in nothing but product every week and worrying about Friday. How the hell am I going to pay payroll? Like, oh my God, I got to pay payroll on Wednesday so they can cut the check on Thursday so I can pay everybody on Friday. Like, it it gets a little hectic, man. And then you got to pay the Bureau of Workers Comp, and I mean, shit gets hectic, man. It gets pretty freaking expensive at times, man.
Oh yeah, I think it does. It's I've been up to 11 employees at one point. It just like you're like you said, you're waiting like, okay, is this check coming in today? Because I need this check to pay this, and I need this to pay that, and if
Yeah.
you're putting all that out in materials, you're always kind of like at that, and I always hate it when I have to go to buy a whole, $500-600 worth of materials in one day for a job, unless it's, I know I'm getting, a prepayment or something like that. Cause then you're like, shit, like, where's that money going to come from? Like, and it affects you. It really does.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it,
See, I don't
more
got
than,
none. See, I go, mine's gone.
dude, all you got is grease in that head, man. It's like, you must
It's
wake
not
up like
grease.
this.
It's wax. I use wax.
You must wake up just like this. Like,
I
do
do.
do you wear like a hairnet at night? Do you like slick that back and put a hairnet on? And
No,
I bet you sleep with
I go to bed
sunglasses
like this
on.
and it comes right back up.
Oh yeah, right.
It
That's
does.
probably now because it's trained to be that way, man. I mean,
Yeah, I got 40 years of training on this hair.
it's better than Danny Lanier, dude. Danny Lanier, he has like the slick back comb over kind of a thing going on, and I mean, I love that guy to death, but dude, at a point, you got to do something else. I mean, you can't let your wife cut your hair all the time, and
Right.
clearly she does. Clearly she does.
Well, he saves the money. See, he's got to
Oh
save the
yeah,
money for his TikToks for it. So he can
yeah.
take it somewhere else.
You know what though, man? All jokes aside, I talk about Danny like that. I've known Danny for years, and he has never changed one bit. Yeah, it's free. He has never changed from day one. He has not changed. He's been on the same mission, and it's actually very rewarding watching him grow his channel the way he is growing it, and his followers and all that stuff. I mean, I love the guy to death, and I love what he does for the community. I really, really do.
So, how do you feel about people buying followers?
Well, let's get
I
into
just had
that.
to ask you that.
Let's get into that. So, I think it's some bullshit.
hmm
To be very frank with you, there is a guy out there, Nick Nivet, SG Ninjas. He was one of the original buyers. He bought subscribers, and it was through a social net platform where he paid that platform, and they grew his following. And as much as I like them, Sean and Savannah, they at one point was doing the same thing. Kato Lons, that he was riding the coattails of Nick Nivet along with Stets, and I like Stet and I like Kato, but they were riding those coattails, and they learned the little formula of how to do that. And but I don't think that's a big thing right now. I think what is the big thing is it. Man, I haven't done a video in almost a year, maybe 2 years. really got out of this thing just because of a lot of things that happened in the past, where it made me look at things a little different. But right now, people are into this. I'll do it for free. Hey, look at this overgrown property. I'm going to stop and I'm going to do it for free. Like, really, dude? Really? You're going to spend 3 hours of your time because, all right, let's be honest, maybe 4 hours, because you have to set up the freaking camera. That takes 10 minutes. And then you mow this little area. You got to move the camera over here, unless you got 50 cameras. And then you got to move the camera over here to mow this little area. And then you got to move it over here to do this little area. I think it's some bullshit. And I think a lot of these people are they're going from 0 subscribers to 100 subscribers within 100,000 within maybe 2 months on the platform. And you're like, oh, that's fake, because what they're doing, they're using the other streams. They're using Twitch. Twitch is a big thing. They use that, and they publicize in there. You know what I mean? And it's stuff that on the back end. And then a lot of these channels, they, instead of going after actual lawn care individuals, they're pushing towards more of a kid stream. And that's what I've noticed that a lot. And you can't make any money, man, when you're doing something for free, dude. You're not. You might be making pennies on the dollar for your video, and people are, sending you money on the hot whatever it is, like, oh, let me send him $50 for mowing this lady's grass. Like, I get it. Juggernaut, he's doing a great thing. I can't knock the man's hustle. He was the original one to start here's an overgrown property, I'm gonna mow it. Like, okay, maybe the first 5 videos, that was cool. Now it's just getting to be redundant, and it's like, you're not showing me anything, dude. You're not teaching me anything. The only thing you're doing is you're pushing towards a 12-year-old little boy or a little girl, don't know what to call them nowadays. So a 12-year-old that might be interested in mowing grass for his mom and dad, but YouTube is awesome, and he sees you got 50,000 subscribers, he thinks you're the shit. And in all reality, you couldn't tell me your business line. You couldn't tell me your numbers at all. And I think if you ask some of these individuals that are doing those videos, they couldn't tell you shit, man. They couldn't tell you nothing about their business.
Right.
You know?
I think a lot of it is just trying to get the viewers and stuff. And I think it's easier to just post something out there like that to try to get the viewers. And I feel like you're not really doing, like you said, helping somebody out and helping other individuals out. Lanier says he's at 31 followers. I mean, that's pretty good. I'm at 120. So, I mean, we're close. I mean, 31 followers is pretty close. So that's pretty good.
I mean,
Danny.
Yeah. And we, man, I've been at this. If I got back into it and I really cracked at it, you already know I could go like take off. But a couple years back, what was it, like 5 years ago?
Yeah. Some
things happened. I was pumping content, and an individual, we'll call him Sam, asked me for some content information on what we were doing, and we had to submit the content to him before we pushed it out. And he tried to censor us a little bit, and I didn't like that. But then when I shot some of the content, like what we were going to do, next thing I know, there's an individual on freaking YouTube being sponsored with our content. And it was literally our content, word for word on the interviews, exactly who we were interviewing. He was already there. He was at their house doing the interview instead of doing it the way we had it set up. And we all see how that went for that individual because it went, and when it could have taken a better direction.
Danny says I'm the one running Echo Me's business now. I don't know.
I'm running the damn show. You see who's on here, Danny. You see who's on.
I've been there a pretty long time, Danny. There's a lot more people that's there. So, yeah, I think putting your content out and doing it the way you want is the way it should be always. I mean, yeah, I see a lot of these people that are doing it, trying to do it scripted just because they want that, money from that sponsorship or whatever it is, and it's like you can tell that a lot of times it's scripted. I can, just looking at it, I can tell it's scripted. Some of these people that are putting this content out, dude, I know who they are, how they speak, how they are. And then when you see their video, a 30-second ad, and you're like, dude, I know who you are, and you don't talk like this. Like, you never have talked like this. And why why are you putting this out? Is I get it. You need the money,
Let's get into that. There's an individual, we'll call him Brian, that you can tell this man has, just so you understand, he has the cue card behind the camera and he's reading what his wife wrote. I love the man to death. I love that he's built his business. I think that they're doing great. I think they have a beautiful family. He's got a beautiful baby. Like, I watch a lot, man. I don't miss a lot. But he has not changed since he started. The only thing he may have done is move the cue card from the left side to the right side. And it is as scripted as it can be. It's always the good things about the business, never the bad things. Like, my man did a video one time, bro, of how to change a tire and put the tire on wrong and jacked up the mower. I don't know if you saw that video or not. He jacked it up.
I'm gonna have to find that video because that has to be fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, a lot of individuals, man, like you said, that things are so scripted. Even Sean and Savannah, they're on it. They know what's going on, but a lot of their things are so scripted, it's not even interesting anymore. And some of the details, some of the things that they may talk about, it's correct in their head, but technically speaking, what they're saying is not correct. But to a 12-year-old kid, it's good. It's gold. You know what I mean? Right. And I think a lot of content creators out there, you have to take them with a grain of salt. One of the best content creators out there, and he's been around since it all started, is Johnny of Blades of Grass, and he's got it. He's got it down. Is his stuff scripted? Absolutely, but it's scripted in a way to where it seems real. But his knowledge he's got a plethora of knowledge out there, and so what he puts out is correct and factual. Stanley Jeanette, he's another good one, but he kind of went in a different direction with stuff and started doing more of the commercial end of it and push it. I don't like that. I don't. I have an issue with individuals that are in the business about as long as I've been in it. You can tell they don't know jack shit, and they're out here selling at a freaking conference of how to make a contract. Like, bro, you could just pull up the contract off of Rocket Lawyer. You know what I mean? And right. I mean, it's not that hard, dude. It's really not that hard. But y'all selling a contract. Like, come on, man. Come on. Our community isn't about that. And when you start pushing and pandering towards the community and trying to hustle them, that's when I step in, and that's when you'll see One Love pop in a video out of nowhere, like, hey, what's going on over there? You know what I mean? Because I'll call you out. I'm ever since that incident with we'll call him Sam. I started looking at individuals and started looking at the content creation of it all a little different on the back end of it. And you're absolutely right. When things are scripted because they want to get these sponsorships and shit, sponsors aren't looking at you for that, man. They want the realness, and they want why you're actually who you are on here, and why you're the influencer that you are. Because when you start getting scripted, you start losing who you are, and you start losing the value and the notoriety. You know what I mean?
So we have Josh here. He's hiding his face because he's witness protection plan right now. So, you know,
his wife probably beat his ass.
Oh, so now you got your own entrance music?
That's why I'm late. I wanted to do all that. You kidding me?
My man's shoulder's bigger than his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hold on. Camera angle, right? There you go.
Oh, he's learned how to do walls.
I'm all fucked up this morning.
He's been doing walls for like 5 minutes today. So we were just talking about followers and, you know, sponsorships. And we know your kind of information on that, right? You got to talk into the mic.
I'm talking into the microphone. Sorry, the dog's also.
He always has problems with his mic. I think it's just like he doesn't know how to use mics.
Stop. Say, I come in, I get everything all discombobulated. I'm like, Jesus. Nick's like, what the fuck did I get into? Yeah, what are you guys talking about? I mean, you kind of know where I am with the whole influencer thing. You know, more than
you
followers.
You gotta get closer
and
to
all
your
that.
mic or something, or your mic needs more volume.
Take the marbles out of your mouth so we can understand what the hell you're saying.
Oh, this is fun. He's lost.
He's like, that's fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
Well, hey,
yeah.
let me touch on this
another moment.
Yeah, let me touch on that comment there. I agree, Danny, that the landscape end of it all is going to, it's higher profit margins, but you're also putting out a lot of money in product. And right now, you know, you're kind of dabbling in it. So you're getting that little bit of money up front, and then at the end, you're getting the rest of the money. But when you start scaling that, there's going to be a time where you're not going to be getting that money up front. You're going to either have it financed, and you can go through a finance company, Danny. There's several finance companies out there. We actually use our bank. They'll finance our customers for us. Anything over $5,000, we automatically send them to the finance. And that's just because we've been got a couple times. But anything over, and you'll come up with your own number. It might be 2,000. It might be 8,000. But once you hit that peak, that platform, you gotta ask for that financing, or you're going to be putting out that money, man. And it's a great way to scale your business, but it is a hard way to do that. I would not get rid of the mowing, because everybody in here, they understand when you first started, that's your money. That's how you make your money, is off of that mowing. And you learn that profit line with the mowing. And you know, if all else fails, your mowing can still pay your bills. So I would never get rid of the mowing. I would never get away from it. I've seen a lot of individuals, they just stop mowing.
I mean, there's other ways to make money. I mean, you can pick up dog shit really and make money. I mean, that's
oh, absolutely. Now. Absolutely.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you slowly. I mean, you're like very low
volume, but not that. How about now? That sounds good now.
Yeah.
Nick just looks way too serious right now. You got him all riled up. You're like about to fight.
He's
no, not yet.
He wants to talk.
That was
been waiting on you.
I know. I'm late to the party.
Yep.
It's funny because I was listening backstage when I went in on Nick talking about like the whole influence thing. I heard the name Sam come up, but I met Sam. We went into the UAG program together, and it was funny because at that moment, this is when it was starting to transition from the influence thing to kind of like just regular Joes in the group. And I don't know exactly what happened, but I remember that Sam, Nick just all of a sudden one day just blew up on YouTube, and it was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm out. I like this dude. I was like, I like this dude. And that was, and that kind of signed the shot on where some companies and people, not, Echo in particular, but the people that were running that group at the time, were trying to, put their resources and kind of giving people direction of other people's content, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny.
You kind of hit it on the head. I mean, what happened, what transpired, Josh, was we were asked by the individual, we'll call him Sam, and to submit our content for Lawn Care News. And a lot of people, y'all may not understand exactly who I am, but I blew up when we started this a parody of the news, but it was more directed towards lawn care, and we put out a lot of facts, we put out a lot of bullshit, but we kept it fun, we kept it real, and we just told it how it was. And we had to submit our content to that individual that was in charge of the group. And I'm not trying to knock a company, so don't take it wrong. Anybody take it wrong. I'm not trying to knock the company. The individual that was running the group, he's a piece of shit. He is. And at the time, he was a slime ball, dude. And he tried to ride coattails. And so he's like, hey, submit your content for a month so I know what's going on. And if we're not kind of digging something, we'll just take it out. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. So we submit like a month's worth of content. And at the time, man, we were going live, like off of the phone for like an hour. And we would do it like 3 times a week. And then we would do videos on top of that. And so we had this content, and it was basically get to know the pros. But our content was named Hot Seat Friday. And what we would do is we would get these individuals. We were one of the first ones to actually do these kind of videos, these kind of interviews that we're doing right now. And it was a raw video. And I had Doug Wright, I had Richie Plemons, I had Blaine Dennison, and I can't even think of Brian Ring. And we all were doing this stuff, and they were helping me get these individuals to do these interviews. We had Danny Lanier on there one time, and it was a quick fire over, quick. And we were asking questions that everybody wanted to know, but nobody would ask. And I mean, man, we even interviewed Beach River. We interviewed Top Notch before they were big. And I sat down with a lot of these guys and we talked to them. And so we submit this content, and it was a month's worth of content, who we were interviewing, what the interview kind of entailed, because I couldn't really get into details because you guys know me, man. I'll just go, and start talking about your mom and dad and maybe your dog. And so we going at it and submit this content format. And it was on I want to say like a Monday or something like that. I remember exactly what you're talking about, Josh. It was like on a Monday I submitted it. And Wednesday, I get a notification that the lawn care rookie, or rookie lawn care, whatever, Naylor, he is going live on freaking YouTube. And I'm like, oh, cool. Because he was part of the group. So I'm trying to follow people in the group. So I go to his shit, and it's the dude that we were supposed to be interviewing. And it was literally word for word what he was asking the man, our questions. And I'm going, oh, this is some bullshit. And within probably about 15 minutes, we were mowing a yard. I mowed the grass. I was so mad, so mad. I'm like, I looked at Sierra and I'm like, babe, I'm done. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm done. Today is it. I'm done. And she was like, okay. I went live. I'm like, fuck you, Sam. Fuck you, Echo. Fuck you, motherfuckers. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm done. Y'all can have this shit. I'm out. And that was the part you were talking about, Josh. And I got to sit back for the next 3 months. I mean, we still interviewed like Mullins and women in the industry. We started that. Women in the industry, that started with One Love Lawn Care News. And now it's something big. And it would have been big back then. It's just now catching wind now. Sierra was one of the first women in the lawn care landscape magazine for women in the industry. And so we dipped, man. And then we got to sit back for the next like maybe 6 months and watch Naylor's video go straight down the fucking tubes because the man didn't know how to interview these individuals the way it was supposed to be interviewed. He didn't understand the concept of it, but it was stolen content. And when I tried to call him out, our friend, we'll call him Sam. When I tried to call that man out about it, he was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not your stuff. Da, da, da. You submitted it and it's part of the group. That's when I learned that to keep my mouth shut about what kind of content we're going out. And if I ever do sponsorships, which I still have several sponsorships, one is with Bradley, that it's going to be on my.
What does Bradley give you as a sponsorship, and what do you do for Bradley?
I can't really go into details about what they do for us.
Do they make everything in the United States? How about that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes and no. So a lot of stuff is made in China. It is disassembled.
Everything's made in China, right. Practically.
It is assembled. It is shipped to the U.S. and reassembled. The main engineer behind everything is here in America. His name is Sam, and they put everything together. They shoot it over to the manufacturer. They build it, and then they send it back over. So we got 3 mowers from them. The first mower we bought, they kicked that back, the money back after my first video blew up with them. That's how I ended up getting their sponsorship. They kicked that back, so that was free. The 36 was free. The little walk behind is free. I don't even use it, but that's free. If anything breaks, anything goes down, all I gotta do is call them, say I need this, I need that, and they'll send it to me. And in return, I do videos for them, but I haven't done a video in almost 2 years, just because we've gotten to the point with that Bradley brand that nothing's breaking down on it anymore, and so there's no real. It would just be redundant. You know what I mean? It would just be repetitive as far as the content. So we were part of building the new 61 that they have. The 36 that was designed and literally designed by Sierra and I, because they didn't have a 36 prior to us. So we helped design that, the whole entire layout of it. The new extra grips, the higher grips, that comes from Sierra being so tall. She was hunched over. So we said, you need to make some kind of a thing to where the bars are a little higher. So the sticks, so they made that for us. Now you can buy them. The electric chute, I mean, a lot of things with them. I'm working on Husqvarna right now. Been talking to them. Got some stuff with Huck, the shirts. So A lot of things, man.
I got a question to cut you off because nobody ever answers this question. So when you go in and you do these sponsorships or these whatever with these, like, do you just call these people up and say, hey, listen, I got this following on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I want $5,000 to do a video, or is it more or less like they line out like what they give their influencers or I don't know what you would call it besides influencer. How do you approach these companies if they're not reaching out to you?
So, all right. So yes and no, just like Danny Lanier is saying right now. Danny, I'm sorry, I got to do this, bub. He was the individual when I first got into this that helped me get sponsorships. He taught me the formula, and it's basically, man, you got to come up with a good typed up letter, and let's say you're going to go to Dad's barbecue sauce, right? And you shoot over a letter saying, hey, I'm Nick Sain. I have X amount of followers on this, and this. Altogether, I have this many subscribers. Altogether, I have an influence of, I'm just random numbers here, 20,000 people. Not anymore. 20,000 people. I can reach up to X amount of individuals per video. I can reach up to X amount of individuals on this platform, that platform. I like your product because of this. And this is what I anticipate. This is what I want to do with your product. You should already have that product. And you start doing your little videos and you show them what you can do with your video. And if your video hits this certain amount, more likely you're going to get a letter back. More likely you're going to get a phone call. Now, as far as money, Josh, I'd never asked for money. I've never asked for money from any company, any sponsor at all. Now, some individuals, we may call him Naylor. He did go to companies and he did get financing, but that was because he had a little bit of a backing by an individual named Sam. And we all see how that went. You know what I mean? We all see how that went.
Why have you never approached for money?
Why should I? I make my own money. I don't need your money.
It's technically the brand's money. It's not my money. But if they're making triple off what you're producing for them, why shouldn't you get a piece of that? If it's legitimate. Now, I'm not just saying go out there and put flashy fireworks on the video. But if you're putting something together that I'm benefiting on, and someone else, a middleman, is making money off that, why wouldn't you see a piece of that?
Then give me product. Give me product. Give me something where I can make money and continue feeding my family. Give me the product. Give me the notoriety. Give me the credit for it, and we can move on. Now, if this,
but what's better, money or the product? I mean,
all money.
Let's say it's like Josh. It's bricks. Like he's doing pavers and stuff like that. Would you rather want like 10,000 in bricks, or would you rather have 10,000 in cash?
You can get more than 10,000 in bricks, because if you're doing what is it, Loctite or whatever it is, the brickwork, right? You can push that. They can make their money on their end. Shoot me the product, man. Shoot me the product. And I do it in two ways, but I've never asked for the money. I want the credit, and I want some product in return, because the product at the end of the day is going to continue making me the money. When the money runs out, you have nothing else. You have nothing else. And
I get what he's saying, because eventually your time, no matter who you are, your time comes to an end with the influencer shit. Either your credibility goes to shit, or you're just not entertaining anymore. And if a company was to give you, say, 2 backpack blowers or a mower, you're gonna make triple net than you would with the $5,000 they gave you. So if they would give you a $15,000 lawnmower, you're probably gonna turn that into $50,000 to $100,000 over a course of 2-3 years. So I get where you're coming from that part. I just feel like some of these people I'd want to hit hard You know, especially like if I'm doing like you talked about, I heard backstage the seminars, and I can't fucking stand the seminars, man. Those things drive me nuts. Unless the person that's doing it has some sort of social proof, or at least a background in that with like some sort of social proof. I'm getting paid to go do that. That's the one thing I would get paid for. If I'm going to one of those seminars and you're charging people where, you know, you might not know shit, but you're just kind of like the director of it, I'm making sure I'm getting paid to go out there and
Right.
deliver my message. But with social media, I get that. I mean, because I'm not a personality enough to do that shit. But I mean, I think I would go both ways with it. I would definitely try to get the revenue stream. But I get the idea behind the equipment and keeping the equipment. That you could definitely make more profit off that.
Because I mean, like take this for example. Like I still have the Echo backpack blower that they gave us. I still have the PAS system. I still have the broom. I still have the extended hedge trimmers. I'm still making money off of that. I'm not even part of the UAG anymore. I was one of the original ones.
And just for reference, that was about 6 years ago, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I get Andoline trimmer line. I get that for free. I get bundles of it, man. I have so much of that shit that it's fucking ridiculous. But I haven't been part of their program. They haven't sponsored me in 3 years, but I'm still making money off of it. Now, if I had got maybe $3,000 from them, that money would have already been gone. And then I would be asked out. My content would still be out there. I'd still have their product, man. I'm still using their product. You know what I mean? Let's discuss
this.
He
wants to know where the link is for the Endoline.
It's on my YouTube channel. It's on my YouTube channel, and it's called World's Greatest Trimmer Line, Danny. You don't ever watch.
But you got to use code Brian's10. Brian's10 gets you 10% off.
Exactly. I think that those are awesome things, but I don't really agree with a lot of that stuff. A lot of people they pander to the community, and I call it hustling the community. And I don't like that.
It's hustling when you're using them codes like that and using that, use my 10% to get 10%. Come on. I mean,
that's cash value on like the Scotch 10. That's cash value to the person that's promoting it, right?
Right.
So if you put out Scotch 10, you're getting like a nickel or something per click or something.
Yeah. You're not going to get that much off of it. And I feel like I was talking to somebody earlier this weekend, and they see my Equipment Defender racks and they liked them. And the guy was like, where'd you get these and all that? And I said, dude, go to Equipment Defender. I'm not going to give somebody, a code to say, here, use this code, save 10%. If you want to use them, use it. I'll support it, and I don't have a code for it, and I'm not going to give you a code for anybody else, because it's more about like, this is the good product that I tell you that it's going to work great for you. You're going to enjoy it. Look at, this is what it does. This is what it is.
Yep.
I don't have no code. I'm not sponsored by them, and I'm not, and I wouldn't give you a code if I, I know tons of codes for them.
It's like with Bradley, man. Like, dude, I could call Bradley up right now and be like, hey, so-and-so is going to call you. Can you cut him the deal? I could do that, but I don't. Why am I going to do that? Like, just buy the shit, man. It's already cheap. Just buy it. If something breaks, give me a call. I'll call Sam, and they'll shoot you the broken part. And they're not going to charge you. They'll shoot you the broken part. But I'm not going to try to give you a code for 10%, 15% off, because at the end of the day, man, I'm not making shit off of it. And I have to do that about 50 million times so I can get a freaking grass shoot. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. Danny, the freaking link is right next to where it says share. You push that little button right there, and it'll pop up the link. You copy it, and you paste it onto something else. That's if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, Danny, what you need to do is you need to push the little share button, and then you share it to your personal page, or you share it into other groups. Come on, Danny, you know these questions. These are rookie-ass questions. You may need to ask Naylor about this stuff.
I want to I want to jump in and go back. When I came in, Danny was talking about walls, and I know Nick was saying about you stick to mowing, and Scott, I know you're trying to transition, but just personally, that's the that was the transition I made. Danny was I had no intention of doing hardscaping, and my intention was to do full landscape maintenance and mowing, and then the demand was just there. I got to the point where I was booking out so much hardscape and landscape that doing the mowing 2 days a week, what we had cut it down to, was getting in the way. It was to the point where we realized with that week worth of mowing we had, which was generating about like 8 to 10,000 a month in mowing, wasn't worth it because we could hit the same profit margins. The profit margins on that 8 to 10 was like 2 to 7% by the time everything was done on salary, fuel, all overhead. We could go up to about 15, 25% if we finished our hardscape jobs and brought something else in. So that was the transition, and that was the reason that I had dropped it. I am currently, I do 2 commercial properties in the city that I just moved to, so I can kind of build some sort of rapport out here, just because I don't know the market too well. But other than that, that's the only mowing that I've done in probably 5 years. And it's worked for me. I mean, I think if you're looking to make the transition, Nick's right. You know, you don't drop everything to go do it without having the clientele. But when you get to the point that, right, you know, you got to see where your margins are. If you have better margins in mowing, then you stick with that. But if your passion is to pursue hardscape or landscape, you know, you have to figure out what dictates your market in that area, and obviously arrange your profit margins, and then slowly get rid of it, because it does hurt sometimes where I'm like, the profit margins were really low, but at the end of the month, on a slow month, when I'm like, damn, I could have 10 grand in my pocket, even if it's low profit, it was almost like a rollover loan for a couple of weeks until things got going. But Scott's right in the sense where you can make that money on a lot of different jobs, whether it's a mulch job in between, a cleanup, or you do like a sealed patio, or you rebuild the wall. So the money's definitely there in it.
Oh yeah.
What's your percentage though on it? What kind of percentage are you making right now on a job, profit wise?
My goal is 50 to 60, but in realization, it's typically around like 25 to 35%. You know, and I mean, you're talking bigger dollars though. You know, so I mean, if we're going in from 20 grand a month worth of mowing, which would have been shit. I mean, that would have been 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I mean, we can knock that out in a 5-day, 40-hour work week right now, you know, and we're making more than we did mowing. Now, the one thing that I miss about the mowing is the extras that came with it, the cleanups, because the cleanup, you're billing straight labor hours. There's nothing behind there. There's no equipment. There's no material costs. I lost a lot of that when I transitioned. So all the cleanups that I had, so the majority of my income came from my spring and fall cleanups. And I lost probably about 75% of those when I dropped mowing. And then the next year I lost probably about 95%. So we still offer spring and fall cleanups. I'll never get rid of those no matter where we go, just because they're so quick and they're so easy. You know, we do a $450 minimum on them, you know, regardless of the size of the house. And that's where we clean out. You know, guys that go over, and if it's an hour, it's $450 for that hour. It's tight. So. But yeah, I mean, the goal is to be at 50, 60, and sometimes we do that. But typically, you know, you want to aim, you know, no lower than 30, no lower than 20, and then make like 30, 35 your threshold. And that's after everything's paid. That's share profit.
Right. I agree. And Danny, you can't just jump on the live. You have to request to be on the show. And then you have to bug the living shit out of them to just even get an invite. And then when you get the invite, you're not even guaranteed to be in the show, because Josh may not even show up until late. And
it's $75 a head, and then $25 for Scott.
Yeah.
For Scott, for Nick.
Yep. There you go.
Send it all to my Venmo account, and we'll be okay. Danny.
Nick's 10.
I have a couple questions for both of you individuals. Number one, Scott, what is it like growing up and living with the Amish?
I don't live with the Amish. Okay.
Bullshit.
I'm not even near Amish. Nick will pay for you. I don't think Nick will pay for you. He had to pay a lot to get on this morning. I mean, there was a lot of Venmo that came through this morning from him. let's just say tens of thousands of dollars. So, but I don't live near the Amish. I might live in the cornfields because I'm out in the country, but I'm not with the Amish.
And Josh,
I grew up in the hood originally.
right. I know, man. I like to give you a hell about it. Just because the first time I ever met you, it was like, you're from where? And I think that's when it started.
Right.
But both of you, here's my question. Why do you do what you do with social media? Why are you, Scott, and the influencer that you are, and why, Josh, do you continue doing what you do as the influencer that you are?
I don't consider myself an influencer, first off. I mean, you might think I'm an influencer. Other people might think I'm an influencer. I just feel like I'm trying to give back to the community, to educate people and to let people know other things that they can learn out of this business. That's why I do the podcast. That's why I kind of am part of EMB, is just to help people out. And, at one point I wanted to be like some of those other big people. But I got to knowing that how they are and how they came up to that point. And to me, I'd rather take my time and work on teaching people and letting them know exactly how they have to do it, how to grow, and to learn from other people in the green industry. And that's why I do landscaping to the point.
Okay, Josh.
I mean, same. I mean, I don't really put influencer anywhere in my name. I think I had every intention to try to do that and try to blow my name up, but I just don't think that my attention span was that great for that type of revenue stream. But I think what it turned into after my ventures with doing whatever I did with Jobber and Echo was more or less was to try to get the answers to the questions the guys wouldn't answer. So like, the one thing I noticed about this industry was like it was very tight-lipped on how you do things, how you price for things. But then at the same time, there were always those people like, well, if you don't know how to price it, don't do it. That always drove me crazy in the industry. It's like you're driving your market down when you do that. When you won't, I mean, I get it. You don't want to show a guy how to do it, but you want to at least give him an idea of how to figure that out. So those questions were going unanswered. And then when they were being answered, I felt like they were being answered by guys that had no business giving you an answer doing it, that didn't really have the experience doing it. So that drove me absolutely nuts. So more or less, I think I was more like, all right, I want to go not after these influencers are doing that, but I really want to bring to light people's bullshit. Where it's like, you're going to pay this money, you're going to follow this guy, and he's misleading you with information or giving you information that's just recycled. Go to the source of the information, the actual source of it. So I'd rather be the guy that's helping, giving input to guys that are in this industry, people that have questions about maybe transitioning from lawn to landscape, lawn to hardscape. I just like being that guy, to try to be honest with you and ask the questions that nobody asks, like on podcasts like this, on anything I've been on. So I don't think the influence thing will ever be in my name. I had to double check my Instagram, my Facebook. I'm like, I got a new Facebook that's like my dogs, and then my Instagram is like, it's all over the place. You can see my ADHD.
Right. Now, all right, here's another question. And you may make some people upset. You may make some people cry with this answer. But we'll start with Scott. Top 3 YouTubers that you do watch.
The top 3 YouTubers I watch. Ben from Acme Mowing. And then literally after that, there's Gunn from Gunn Landscaping, Mike Gunn. And then that's pretty much it, because literally there isn't much out there that I watch anymore. YouTube wise, if I see something like you pop something on, or somebody that I know that'll pop something on, I'll watch it. But I don't follow a lot of big top YouTube influencers, what you would say they are. I know that there's some out there that, like, if you go through my YouTube, you'll see all these ones that I'm following, but they can pop a video in every day and I'm not watching it. It's not, if it's something that literally might interest me, I might watch that day. But literally 9 times out of 10, there's only two people I'm watching, and it's Ben and Mike Gunn. So literally, that's what I got.
And Josh?
Past few years, I can't really list a top three. I'll browse and kind of go down a rabbit hole. In the past, the one, there's only been one that I've religiously watched and actually hooked me, and it's not even in this country. The guy is Asheville Aggregates. He's out of the UK. He's a concrete company. He's like a not sole operator, but like a solo business owner with a aggregate and concrete company. And I don't know, it was just kind of like the day in the life. It was kind of like something like if I was to start YouTube, I'd like to do something like that. It was almost like what's his name? Chant. It was kind of like something like he had going like the vlogging, which I like that aspect of it. So I've watched Dirt Monkey for some of the stuff like the equipment reviews, like the skid steers and stuff. But nothing religious. I am actually going to try to do something with YouTube this year, so I might start getting back on there and watching a bit more. I kind of like the YouTube community a little bit more than the social media community.
Right. I get it. I'm thinking about starting some videos.
You. What's yours?
Well, I've been diehard since day one with Johnny Blades of Grass. I was in service with him. Ben from Acme, I watch here and there. I don't really. I like Ben and I like KH. I'm not a fan of the son and the wife, just because their vision of the content isn't the way it should be. In my eyes, that's just my opinion. But I do like Ben and I like KH. I like him a lot. I have a lot of respect for him. I'm not a big fan, so to say, of the son and the wife, and that's just because he doesn't know a lot, and I think it kind of downed the channel a little bit because his knowledge on the industry isn't as great as his dad's, and it just kind of took a different turn. Danny Lanier Lons, I've been a fan of his since dude only had like 100 subscribers, and and I hit on that at the beginning of everything. I think what he has done with his channel and his social media influence has never changed since day one. His vision of helping individuals, his vision of giving the correct information. He may not know it, but damn it, if he doesn't know it, he's going to seek it out and he's going to get the right answer and he's going to make sure that you know. He never gives out any false shit. It's always factual. It might not be funny at all times. Half of the time it isn't. But dude knows what's going on. He may not know the industry 100%, but he knows what's going on. Yeah, right.
That's his favorite sub right there.
Right. Yeah. I also still watch once in a blue moon. I'll watch Top Notch. But Mowing and Growing, or Motown Lawn Care, it's really Mowing and Growing. Martin Safarine. He's mainly on Instagram now. He used to do some YouTube videos, but I love the guy to death. Martin is a plethora of knowledge. He's from Australia, actually New Zealand, and the dude knows his shit. And we've become good friends over the time. He was one of the original 5 with me when we first started all the live shows, like with Doug Wright, the lawn care industry, raw and uncut. And Martin was a lot of a backing of that. And he did a lot of our overseas stuff. Man, we even did like kids shows on Saturdays. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but we did a lot of kids stuff on Saturdays. And Martin, he is awesome. If you don't know who he is, you find him on Instagram, Mowing and Growing. And the work ethic of this man and his family is unprecedented. And those are my main ones. I mean, I still watch don't think One Love's not watching, because I watch. And if you fuck up or if you're trying to hustle our community, I will speak up. I don't like the individuals that I call them grabbers, where you can tell that they're just reaching for straws, man. They're reaching for straws. They're just trying to get views. They're just trying to get.
Hold on, let me just piggyback off that for you. Question for you, Nick, because I know you'll answer it straight up. So, out of all the platforms, who is the biggest bullshit artist that puts themselves out there as like an influencer or as a coach or anything like that? So, just that one name. Who is the biggest bullshit artist that you know out there right now?
Mowing. Man, I don't even know the dude's name. It's like Mo and Grow or something like that.
On TikTok, yeah.
Off of TikTok, yes, off of TikTok. He is the biggest bullshitter that there is. There's a Lawn Ninja guy. He's off of TikTok as well. They're both full of fucking bullshit. Straight up. That Mo Grow guy, he sold some raffle tickets for $100 a crack and had to sell like 200 of them or 300 of them. Grow it and we mow it. That's it. That's him. I'll get into the TikTok. Give me 1 second. I know this is going longer than typical, man. But yeah, dude sold these raffle tickets, and you were supposed to get like an enclosed trailer, a blower, a trimmer, like full thing. That's yes. He's full of shit, dude. He's full fucking shit. He's worse than SG Ninja Lawn Care. SG Ninja, Nick Nivet, he's full of shit too, but that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, I know what it is, Danny.
So, yeah, right. So, dude was supposed to give you a new mower, all this shit. Ended up being a residential brand kind of a mower. It was an Exmark, I believe, but it was a residential end. It was only like a 48, not a 52. It wasn't what it was supposed to. He didn't sell all the tickets, and that's when you saw Uno the Clown, me, on there. I went in on that man, but he blocked me. And so did the Lawn Ninja guy. He blocked me. For some reason, they blocked me because I was shooting facts at them. You have Facebook here. You have YouTube here. What you see there is what you get. These individuals, they're real. They might be full of shit, but they're real. You go to freaking TikTok, that's like the Wish of the lawn care industry. It's like, dude, you could have came up with a different name. You could have came up with a different name than Lawn Ninja. You already saw that SG Ninja is the real Lawn Ninja. Why do you have this name? And then the stuff that you're repeating on your little TikTok is from a whole entire other freaking TikTok guy. Like, they're both just full of shit. Sorry. That's just my opinion.
Okay, so this was a very good podcast this week, and I want to thank Nick Saint from One Love for being on, and Josh for joining us late, but
hey, better late than never.
Yeah,
I wish I knew Nick was coming on. I would have tried to have been earlier.
I told you. You didn't listen.
You never told me, dude. If I knew, you said we were gonna try. Maybe you did. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
You didn't read the memo. See, it's your ADHD jumping off for everything else.
You know, this dog's like a fucking newborn baby. No one told me that either. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah,
first thing in the morning, the bags under my eyes.
Baby.
Holy shit.
Let's not even talk about babies.
Why, you got another one coming?
No.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, Nick, you got more coming?
No.
She's pregnant again?
Oh, I was gonna say, Jesus Christ. That's like talking about Amish. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's got more Amish kids there than anything.
Oh my god,
He's got a whole family. He's got 7 kids with all his kids. Come on, Nick.
I'm just thinking about that.
You need one more to make it even. Okay.
No.
Just one more.
No.
Yeah.
Not happening. Oh.
We'll talk to Sierra another day and we'll find out.
Right. Hey, I really appreciate you letting me on here, man. It means the world to me that you did this. I mean, you've been down since day one. I've been down with you since day one, and both of you. And both of you guys and what you guys are doing. I think what you're doing is fucking phenomenal, and keep it up. Don't lose the vision, regardless of how this all pans out. Because I personally, I see this blowing up. Not just because I was on here, but because the way you guys are going about it, you're handling it like a business structure. You got a good gel of a team, and don't lose that vision, and don't forget me when you guys hit the top, man.
We won't forget you, and we won't forget Danny. We'll get Danny on here too. And Danny, don't worry, we'll get you on, buddy.
I'll be telling that Echo Glory story fucking in my deathbed.
Yeah.
Listen, I bring that shit to I bring that shit up to every new person in Echo, like in their group. Like, listen, this is what can happen if you don't tighten up your ship, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank
Hey,
you
guys,
both for being on. Please watch us on YouTube, Landscapes by Acme on YouTube. We're in the live section or the podcast section. Also, go on to all your social media, Landscaping to the Point. We are on there every week. We're here every week. We're going to be doing lives continuously every week. So on Sunday morning, so we're going to wake your butts up and get you out there and give you the news that you need to know. So thanks, Nick, for being on, dude. We love you. We enjoy you being on, dude. You're one of the best. You're one of the greatest. So thanks for being on, man.
I appreciate that,
See you
man.
guys later.
Y'all have a good one.